There we go. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Genius Game reunion episode. We are joined by most of the cast at the moment. Sadly, I don't think Paul's going to be joining us. However, Allison and Bex will be joining later. But for now, let's say hello to everyone who's here. So let's see. First is Bedalia, a loyal player who couldn't quite drop the beat in time. How are you, Bedalia?
I'm good, thanks, Ben. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Indy, the foxy winner of 2 main matches, who was betrayed by flamingos. How are you?
I am great. I'm super excited to be here and be back with all of you guys.
Next is a doctor and beauty queen who isn't scared to call complete. It's Basha.
Hi guys, how are you?
All good. And then we have, see if you can guess who this is. The UK's heartthrob who can never look at rock, paper, scissors the same way again. It's Amonte.
I'm loving these intros. They've been glad to be.
I called it as soon as he said heartthrob. It had to be a man face.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next is Scott, the mastermind player with ruthless strategy.
Hello, Ben.
Thanks, Scott, for joining.
You're welcome.
Who haven't I done yet? Oh, okay. A strategic fashionista who came close to snatching the crown for a third time. It's Charlotte.
Ken. Oh.
Damn it.
Could have been you. Ken and his butt.
It could have been. The butt that never made it.
Lastly, we have a forgiving player who doesn't have to bounce any more checks after taking home the grand prize. It's Ken.
Oh, yeah. No more bouncing checks. I don't think I've ever read a check in my life. A real check. Maybe once.
Really?
I think maybe we don't really write checks in the UK, I feel.
Yeah, do you want to write 10 checks to your fellow contestants with your prize money, Ken?
For 4,400 each? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Sure.
They all bounce. Yeah.
They're all bad. Yeah, I've 0 in my account right now. I've exactly four.
Oh, hold on. I just worked out. You said 4,400, not 44,000. So.
Oh yeah, times 10. So
that's what I thought. That's why I thought it's all going to bounce because you're going to give everybody the same. So. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to use that trick in real life. I'm going to bounce so many checks.
That would be a good LinkedIn post.
I heard from your introduction, Ben, there of Bedalia, that you're still not over the Bedalia not dropping that final final Garnet.
I thought it was really clever because he's a DJ, dropping the beat and then the Garnet. It's really good. Really good intro. Did you use ChatGPT to write these?
No, I hate ChatGPT.
I thought you used it to write a poem.
Oh, I did for Charlotte's birthday.
Yes.
I had ChatGPT write a poem.
That was
You also use ChatGPT to mark all your university.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Yeah, I think I've heard rumors.
I wish.
Yeah,
I wish ChatGPT probably does a better job. I mean, ChatGPT wrote the essay, so it's only fitting that it marks them as well.
I guess you could ask ChatGPT to kind of recognize if it finds that special dash. Do you know what I mean?
What's
the
special dash?
AI dash?
Called the M dash. It's called the M dash.
Yes.
What's it called?
The AI dash.
It's that really long dash.
Yeah, the double dash.
Yeah.
I have been editing some of my Instagram bio, but the descriptions now to look for that dash, to remove the dash and put a real dash. That's what I saw it.
I'm taking notes. I've not heard of this double dash.
Yeah.
People are obsessed with it.
The M dash and the N dash. The small one and the big one.
This is a very informational, educational reunion. It's very more educational than the Love Is Blind reunion, I feel. There's much more about punctuation than any other reality show reunion we could ever have.
I have a question for people.
Oh, a question.
Sorry. So, well, we can go around and everyone can give an answer, but I'm curious, what was everyone's favorite moment from the experience of doing the show that we didn't see on TV?
I thought you were going to say favourite punctuation. I had one ready to go. I was like, come on, ampersand.
Square brackets. Favorite moment.
Do you want to go first then, Ben?
Oh, no, I hadn't thought of one. I was just going to ask you guys.
So is it a moment that wasn't aired, I assume?
I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't aired. Yeah, I've
Ooh.
got a few.
I think for me, Ben, it would be when we were both kind of scurrying about, looking at all the tape on the floor. It was so
really fun.
useless. It didn't actually help us, but yeah, it was a really fun moment, and it felt like we were so close to cracking something. But yeah, nothing really came of it, apart from maybe a stronger alliance. Like,
Yeah, I felt really bonded to you after that. I felt like a sneaky little kid, and we were like going to do something to get in trouble. It was really funny.
I'll go episode 2 at the start of the game, before the actual game started. Obviously, they cut a lot of the conversations between everyone. But there's a point in just before where I think it's me, Ken, India, and Alison. Oh, I thought Alison's going to appear just as a just manifest. Hello, Bex.
Hi.
So yeah, the point I was just going to say was when we were all just chatting about stuff outside of Genius, and we ended up guessing each other's ages. So we tried to work out Indy's age, and she said, "Oh, very young." And then Ken shocked me when he said he was like 37, 36. Well, how old are you? 35?
I was 35 during filming.
Yeah. And then Alison turned around and went, "Go on then, guess my age." Right on the spot. I'm like, I cannot do this on national TV. So I was like, 21?
21.
Well, it was also followed by the whole Pasha guess my race conversation, which also thankfully was not aired on national TV. I don't think that would have gone down well.
Oh my god. I actually remember that conversation. Was it really that cancelable? That conversation? I thought it was pretty decent. No one got offended.
No, I don't think so. I think it just would have. It would have been weird to have on the show.
I think I learned the Asian don't raise on that particular episode and on that particular discussion. I think you said that, Ken.
Did I? No way. Asians don't raise it. I said that. Wow, there we go. An aired moment.
Bex, we're just talking about our favorite moments that did not make it to TV.
I have one. I have
go,
one.
Go, Bedalia.
So at the end of filming, we played this game called I See the Moon.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been trying to, I was trying to remember it the other day because I was with a friend. I was like, we need a game to play. And I think Indy, you taught me. It was your game.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
It is a great game to have all of us together and no one's played it. I can't remember who it was who was last to pick up on the rule.
Probably me.
I was one of the last.
I remember being very late.
There is no worse feeling than being last in one of those games because it really feels like everyone else is on the screen.
I See the Moon.
I've actually recycled that game before. I recycled that game at Christmas party before, Indy. And it's really frustrating when other people around you are not smart. I mean, not saying I'm the smart one in my family, but I needed the clue. But literally nobody got it. So
you can play it as a 2-player as well. That's the thing about it.
Wow. Do you play on
the other
dates?
person just gets really annoyed at you.
Exactly.
So fun.
Indy, do you want to tell people what the rules of the game are so people can play it like with their friends?
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to do that. So essentially there's some telescope you're passing around, and as you pass it to someone, you say, okay, can you see the moon? And then they either can see the moon or can't see the moon. But the kind of catches and the rule to be able to see the moon is that you have to say thank you when you're past the telescope. And so it's kind of doubly funny because if you are the last person, it kind of just follows it. You have no manners, which as the game goes, probably what happens.
Funny.
And,
Very
and
funny.
obviously, the longer the game goes on, the less thankful you are that you're receiving the telescope back, so you're never going to get it. You're more like to say fuck you than thank you.
The best bit is when someone thinks they've seen the moon and they actually do see it, but they don't know why they've seen the moon, and the second time they don't see it.
That was good. Well, great moments. I think if they recorded the whole hotel room conversation, that would have been great. Episode 9.
Oh,
that would have been one of the
conversation
best.
about the threesome.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know we're dropping that.
We got, Ben, you better get on your editing fingers. You better start learning how to edit right now.
I'm not editing. Hey, you know what? I said from the beginning that I wanted to get people sliding into my DMs from the show, and that has not happened because no one's watching it. So maybe this reunion will be what prompts people to think I'm a slut and they can get into my DMs.
Ben's married, guys, by the way.
That doesn't mean anything.
Really yeah, it doesn't mean anything in this day and age. People
I know.
really
I'm just pop blocking you, Ben.
People had so much that night. Everyone had so much built up because we hadn't been able to talk about ourselves for the whole 2 weeks, and then there was just so much to let go of. It was so fun. It was such a fun night.
Big weight off the shoulders, definitely.
Yeah.
Drinks were on, Ken.
They certainly were not.
Who was it that stole the bottle of champagne from the after party?
The Becks.
I think me. I remember a few of us went and just grabbed.
Me and
Indy grabbed about 4 bottles.
I took a bottle of white wine as well.
It was all for us. It was like
it was,
yeah.
By the way, guys, somehow someone's Garnet ended up in my suitcase. So did someone go home without a Garnet? Because I ended up with an extra Garnet. I lost both of them, but just
what?
saying.
What? Sorry, what the hell?
I like how it's taken a year.
I have mine for sure. I don't know how someone would have noticed, right?
It was probably cool.
Yeah. Pasha, have you taken a grand from Ken? Have you taken Ken's prize money?
Yeah,
probably Paul's.
Yeah.
I feel like that. It was a kind of bizarre that I ended up with 2 Garnets. So I was wondering whose Garnet. Were there more Garnets than there were definitely more Garnets than contestants. So
yeah.
Well, there's spares going round into people have multiples.
No, because they boxed them up individually, didn't they? So
yeah.
Did you have 2 boxes or?
Yeah, 2 boxes. Yeah.
Uh-oh. You must have just taken
stole one
back.
from the table.
That's awkward. That's awkward. Everyone check your bags.
To be fair, I remember having this conversation at the train station when we were getting the train back. I remember you saying that you had an extra box and we couldn't work out where it came from, but everyone seemed to have accounted for their token Garnet. So unless
Basher,
it's Paul,
it's time to sell it. Just put it online. Get a grand.
I've lost it. I've lost both. So yeah. Has anybody tried selling their Garnet?
No.
It would be worth anything.
No.
It would be worth I mean,
I don't know. You guys are gamers. I don't know. People like buy weird stuff, don't they? I mean, people buy bottle parts.
I don't think I'll ever sell that. I'll sell. I'll sell a genius fart. This fart has higher IQ than any other fart in the world.
After the finale, you have to sell your farts, Ken.
I'm going to sell everything. Sell feet pics, sell bath water. You're getting all of it. So
here's a fun little thing. I actually found a website where you can sell feet and socks, but you have to pay £18 a month to even be a member of that.
Sounds like a scam. What was your original question again, Ben? I think I have
the original question was favorite moment from the experience that wasn't shown on TV.
I think for me it was when Bex found out my secret. That was fun. I think the whole interaction between me and Bex is not shown at all. That we don't have any of our interactions. But Bex came to me on day 2 and said, I think you have a secret. Like you said, I'm some sort of chess champion, and I was like, okay, that's close enough. You're in my inner circle. It was like, because you basically said, if I'm right, then that means we should work together because I've worked out something about you, and you were completely like on the money. I mean, it was just a wrong game, but so I told Bex the next day I'm a poker player, and then she managed to mostly keep the secret, except she told Bedalia. But
yeah, I just thought it was going to make good TV, because you were doing the death match with Pasha, and I just thought, oh, they might air this moment of me just going to Bedalia, guess what? But they didn't.
They should have, to be honest. They missed a trick, but they showed none of that. But I think it would have been really fun for the kind of.
It is such a genius move to actually say to someone, "I know your secret," and pretending you know their secret, and then the person will feel paranoid and kind of divulge their secret. That's actually a real genius move. Where did you learn that, Beth?
Huh?
Where did you learn that?
Learn what?
How to
like kind of get someone to divulge their secrets, to just basically say, "I know your secret."
I don't know if it's something you learn.
Yeah, it's just Bex's charm.
I'm pretty sure it's a thing.
I think
it has to be a negation.
I think for Bex, I think basically, it showed me that Bex is very perceptive. She was the only one who was thinking about other players in that way. Like no one else had come up to me and said like everyone else had kind of referring to me as like a bit of an enigma and quite a closed off person, but they weren't like, okay, you have a secret. So that kind of made Bex stand out to me.
Ben, what was your intro for Bex?
Oh, okay. The CEO of Porky Penguin and a professional prankster. It's Bex. I'm curious, Bedalia, why that was the only secret you chose to keep in the entire game.
It was more fun having the secret.
My secret.
Ken's poker secret.
I felt special when Bex told me.
Yeah, we had a special trio. We had a special triangle.
Bex kept coming up to me and be like, "You haven't told anyone, have you?" It's like you wanted it leaked by me.
I told Ken straight away, though, didn't I, Ken?
Yeah, you were like, I told Bedalia, and I was like, God damn it. then Bedalia, I was like, do not tell anyone, and you stuck to it. To be honest.
I mean, Bedalia, when were you told that secret? Episode 2 or 3?
3 during the death match.
So you only had to last like 15 minutes of not telling everybody else, because I mean it was pretty clear from Ken's performance that he was pro, so there was no secret to be kept.
I don't know if it was clear, because we only saw what we saw. We didn't see what we've seen since it's been on telly, which is all the bit that he played, which was clever.
I'm really sad they didn't air the whole of our conversation, Pasha. From the moment we sit down all the way up to the end of that death match, that conversation. So who was it brought?
Especially the bowel movements. The bowel movement conversation. Honestly.
We talked about doing a podcast together. We were like, this could be a podcast right now. And the dealer was not happy.
There was just so much. I wish they had. I mean, there was no way they were going to be able to capture everything. But I think that's also one of my bits that I feel like that should have been shown. More of the humor side of things. I think generally just more humor in some of the episodes. So I do think there was quite a few humorous moments in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a complete laughing fit because of the touching in Zombie game. You started going on about touching, and you started laughing for like 10 minutes of you just laughing to yourself in atrium. And then Seb, I can't remember when it was you made Joe the dealer laugh, but Pasha managed to break the dealer.
Oh yes, and all the moments when we were when I was trying to. Yeah, just trying to crack the dealer and get. It's a bit like trying to talk to the royal guards. You try and poke at them and stuff. Yeah, I thought we were on ice on those moments, but maybe they were being filmed. I don't know.
We were on ice when you were laughing about touching. I remember it was like, we're on ice, but it's just Pasha laughing.
Oh yes,
10,
I
20
remember
minutes.
that.
It's just Pasha laughing. I was like, what the hell is going on?
In fairness,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
really awkward having to say to people, "Can I touch you? do you want to touch?"
I
Please
feel like
touch
I
me.
set other people off as well when I was just laughing by myself. I just remembered that like people slowly started laughing around.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was yeah, it was a fun moment.
I think my
Scott,
other favourite part.
oh yeah.
So the other favourite part, I think, from episode 1 that I don't think got aired was Paul's button smashing during the death match when he broke the podium. That was a top tier comedy from us to watch. But
I'd forgotten
yeah.
about that.
Broke the buzzer.
yeah, he still went for it.
Also, they didn't show every time that Paul was missing his turn by
Oh
accident
yeah.
as well.
He was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Of course,
Did
man.
they have to
he
come
managed
out
to
and
get
fix
that.
it?
Yeah, they did. The whole thing got paused for a good 5 minutes. I think if the thing is, if he'd got that in the time limit, there's a good chance he might have. It was very close at that point. I think it was round 3 or round 4, so it could have been a very different death match. But yeah, there's just the chaos of just I pushed the button. Yeah, sorry, Ben, you were about to ask a question.
Well, yeah, I'm curious, like for Scott and also other people, like which death match or main match that came after you left do you wish you would have been able to play?
Your one, the final 3. Yeah,
The dice one.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Deathmatch, yeah, that would have been fun to play as a 3. I'd say my favourite main match it's my favourite match, so the one I wish I was part of because I could have changed or influenced how it played out would have been Codebreaker. It just watching it, knowing that if I was in there, it would play out entirely different to how it played out. It's just I regret not being part of that.
What would you have done, Scott? What would you have done?
I reckon I'd have assumed from Zombie Match that Ben. Let's assume the roles are still the same, and Ben's still secret agent. I would have assumed Ben would have targeted me or Ken, but probably me still, just to get rid of me because he'll assume I'm going out for revenge. So I would have just taken all the heat and just formed a group to go against Ben. I think from watching the show, there was so many people who were ready to go against Ben who were just too afraid to be the one to stick their head up. Hi, Alison.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I just think if I'd been there, I'd have tried to manifest a group that could then go against Ben and just give people the choice: team up with me and solve the word, or go with Ben and play it safe. I suspect that Dahlia and Charlotte might still have tried to go with Ben to get that token of life, but as soon as one of them was told they weren't getting it, they probably would have jumped ship to our team. But in hindsight, looking at the game, it might have been really hard to actually work out what the word is if we didn't have extra clues, probably, especially in the time limit. But it'd have been fun to try.
Yeah, I think it would have been a very exciting episode, and I would have been shitting myself even more than I already was if you were there, I think.
Do you think you would have been so open, Ben, if you knew because you knew I wouldn't have probably gone for it? So would you have been as open with everyone?
I don't know. That's a really good question because I sort of thought that I, based on my relationships with people at that point, I thought that everybody but Ken had a chance to go along with the plan. But if you were there, obviously I know that you wouldn't. So I don't know if I play it that open anymore.
Maybe I go along with the plan in the church. I'm like, see you, Scott. Oh, I'm out of here.
Can I do Allison's introduction now that
yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my favorite one. Okay. Now we're joined by a murder mystery writer who committed a double homicide in the death matches. It's Allison.
Hi Ben. Hi everybody.
Did you have one for yourself, Ben?
No.
No? We need one for Ben.
Quick, ChatGPT.
Someone.
You can all roast me now.
Yeah, there's so many moments that you could draw off. I have to have a think.
I'm really curious about your actual background. Because you're always in the genius background, and I really want to know what your
the
actual
picture.
background looks like.
Just
Yeah.
what his room looks like.
Oh, you want me to take? Wait, let me see if I can remove it.
I thought you meant his.
Yeah, I like
yeah. Yeah. I thought you meant his entire life story.
into
Like,
this
Imagine
room.
if you,
where did you?
Oh,
there were just like 10 skeletons behind him.
This is better.
It's-
Actually.
There we go.
How are you, Allison?
Yeah, I'm good. I was doing jury service today.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I imagine you
so-
can't say anything about it on
Well-
on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I can say I didn't get picked today. I've got to go back on Wednesday.
Oh.
No. That is so
How
sad.
long is it, Alison? How long is it
Oh,
you have
yeah.
to sit down for?
You get called in for 2 weeks, but you don't know when until you get there how long it's likely to be. So it could be. So a couple of people I work with have just done jury service, and one of them was there for 3 weeks, and one of them's been there a month. It depends on the length of the trial.
So do you have to sit in one room for like a long time?
Well, we had a juror's waiting room, and then when they're ready, they call you through and they do the jury selection.
Do you get snacks?
Get what?
Snacks.
You get snacks.
No,
exactly
only
what
if you
people
bring
want
them
to hear about.
yourself.
Well, everyone wants to hear about the jury waiting room snacks.
We actually did a jigsaw this afternoon. We were waiting for so long.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
We did a
Okay.
jigsaw.
Are you allowed your phones, or is there like no phone zone?
Yeah, no. You can have your phones and everything with you.
It's
Not when
it's
you're
not
in
the
the
genius
courtroom,
filming.
but we were in a waiting area, and we were just waiting for it to kind of kick off. So it was a really quiet day.
Comfy sofas. Comfy sofas.
They were okay. It was quite a nice room actually, and it had a microwave and a drinks machine and food machine. So when I go
Oh,
back,
there
I'll
was
take.
free food.
No, you have to pay for it, but you get
Oh,
you get an allowance every day. But I'll take my own snacks on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else on jury
I work
service?
on the next book while I'm waiting.
I was going to try and direct the conversation back towards genius.
No, I'm going to keep talking about jury service.
This
is actually,
I've done.
we're talk entirely about our lives and nothing about the show.
I mean, if we're doing that, I can talk about court from the other perspective of
Oh my god!
not being a defendant.
I've
killed
with
3 people.
several crimes.
And you covered it up when you were the forensic scientist. For
Exactly. I got away with it all.
Do you get
Have you
paid
been
extra?
in the-
I just framed Paul instead.
Do you
What
get
was the
paid
question,
extra when you're an expert witness? Do you get paid more?
In terms of like just as my job in general, or as a
Yeah, it
forensic
feels like
scientist,
if you're, do you do it as part of your job, or do you get paid by like the prosecution or the defense or something to come in?
So my company gets paid a fee to release me. My company still pays me my set salary.
I see.
But then the prosecution service will pay my company a fee to borrow me for the day, plus expenses and everything to attend court. So
I see.
So what's your
I
speciality?
don't see the money. So I specialize in noxious substances. So things like acid attacks, ammonia. I deal with other aspects at work, like gunshot residue and things like that. But one of the things I go to court for will be acid attacks, carrying a corrosive substance. So.
Would
get free
Ken's
snack
genius
bar.
farts count?
yeah, a genius fart would be a noxious substance. If Ken farted in a bottle and opened it in someone's face.
Yeah, I open it in the tube station, destroys the whole of London.
Oh.
Sorry, Alison, you missed that part of the conversation.
Scott, do you get free snacks? Do you get free snacks?
When I go to court,
you're obsessed with free snacks, No, he gets money. He gets payment instead, and he can buy snacks.
Yeah, I get.
That was the whole reason.
I get subsidized lunches and dinners if I have to stay overnight. But yeah, subsidized lunch, which I think it's like £20 for lunch, which pretty good when you go up north, but when you go to London, it doesn't quite cover it.
Yeah, but
What
we
was
get
everyone's-
£8 for lunch. That's painful.
Ooh.
That doesn't do
What was
anything.
Yeah,
a question on this topic?
Actually,
What was
you
everyone's...
want to do extras work because you get like the
Yeah.
food truck.
Yeah, that's why I did Genius for the free snacks. That was purely the reason.
Yeah, I've got a related question. And what was everyone's favorite snack on the Genius?
Ooh.
Oh.
I had a Galaxy chocolate was my go-to.
Someone kept
I had a-
stealing mine. Was it you, Scott?
Maybe.
Stealing
Pasha, someone kept bringing me Galaxy to my dressing room.
Same.
Oh
every
my
time I ate,
God.
every time I ate
I
one,
didn't
it
order
replaced
them. They just kept
Yeah, I
like
had Galaxy.
I had
Me
many.
too.
I
Yeah,
had Galaxy.
I had Galaxy.
One paper, boys.
I like the
Who all
Jammy
had
Dodgers.
Hands up, who had Galaxy chocolate? Nice, good taste.
Wow.
Hands up who took their
And
snacks home.
shortbread.
What's
I
that?
took all my snacks home, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with the
I-
shortbread.
I took
emptied
even
my
the milk
dressing
bottles. I took even the milk bottle.
Wow.
They got
I
me a
got some
big
tea.
box of Yorkshire tea bags. And then a lot of the cast, not the cast, a lot of the crew would pop in and ask if they could steal a tea bag, and I'd be like, yeah. So I had the good
I had
ones.
about 20 serene bars before I passed out.
Yeah, I had about 20 cheese strings.
Whoa.
Cheese strings.
What was
They got
people's
Galaxy
I had a
actual?
really nice rug in the dressing room, and I wanted to nick it, but I thought it was,
A
could have
rug.
been a bit conspicuous. Yeah, I really liked it.
I don't have a rug in mine.
I wanted to nick my entire sofa. So yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
You could have done something about that.
Pasha, I was in your dressing room when I did my pickup interviews the day after I got eliminated, and I was like, holy cow, how does she have this huge room with a couch? And I was in this like tiny room that was so hot. Like all of our rooms upstairs, I think, were like really hot.
They were really hot, yeah.
That's
I had
Miss
2
England
rooms.
privileges, that is.
Yeah,
I had 2 rooms.
Who was upstairs and who was downstairs? Who
I
was
was
I
upstairs?
can't remember.
I was down.
I was downstairs.
Upstairs.
Downstairs.
Alison
my
was next
whole
to me.
Yeah,
Me
Your
and
row
Paul
got
and-
decimated, Ken.
I think
Yeah,
me,
my
Paul,
whole
and
corridor
Axel
got
were
knocked
all-
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
you
all down-
three
we were
got
down-
knocked out straight away. It was just me in the corridor for the entire first half.
Either you or Bedalia had the little chair with the printed chair. It was a white with green print. It was like it had like these leaves on it.
Not me.
No,
My
I
first
don't-
room
maybe.
didn't even have a bathroom.
What?
What?
Yeah. And then
Dahlia.
when they moved me, I was like, what is this luxury?
Wow.
Did you just have a bucket in the corner? Was that?
I think, yeah, it was a worthwhile sacrifice of Paul. It meant I had a nice dressing room. Thanks,
Yeah.
Paul.
They might have thought that you wouldn't last even the first episode. So
I
you
know.
can hold your
That's
you hold your urine for one whole episode.
Wow. Brutal.
That's so funny.
No, but it's one of those things you don't even know until you get upgraded. that was
Yeah.
even an option.
Yeah.
That was good. And it even had a window. Did yours have windows?
Mine didn't have window.
What?
No window
Oh,
for
wow.
me.
I had no
No
window.
window for
Right.
me.
You know, having
And a bathroom
windows,
window, I think.
yeah, it makes all the difference having a bit of
I
sunlight.
feel like if I'd have had a window, I'd have won, to be honest.
Hey, I didn't have a window. I just, at some point, I would just sit in the dark because the lights were just too bright, and I'll just turn off all the lights. I'll just be sitting in the pure dark, just sitting, just pure darkness, not doing anything.
I did that.
Can I ask a question, Ben? Can I ask a question to the group? I've got one that I think is quite good.
Oh,
Of
great.
course.
Yeah, I've actually got a couple on this topic. So, did anyone have like a set pre-performance ritual? Like, and don't explain it. Just go boom, boom, boom. Just like tell us what it was.
Eat a Galaxy, have a nervous brew, get ready.
Okay, Scott, you're winning so
Well-
far.
It didn't work out, sadly, but
Are we
I
talking
only had a Galaxy before the death match.
pre-death
One
match
that I
or
had.
just pre-everything?
No, I did eat other Galaxies, but the one before the death match was part of my death match warm-up to give my
That's why you
my
were so
brain a
good.
splash.
Yeah.
Just a
I couldn't
Galaxy.
eat.
Mhm.
Okay.
We always got dinner before our death matches, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
never
so
ate my dinner. I only ever ate the dessert.
that's
Oh.
crazy, bro. That's crazy. To live
Yeah.
No,
like
I
that.
don't. I don't
dinner.
blame him. The dinner food was really bad, but the desserts were always really good.
The dinner
Yeah.
was
I really
mixed.
Saving
enjoyed
my
my
dessert.
food. I loved my food.
Some food was good.
You had veggie food probably, Bex. The
I had
meat
veggie
was
food
always
as well.
overcooked. Like the chicken
I had veggie food as well.
You would choke on the chicken because it was so overcooked and dry.
Oh, the chicken was dry.
I
Chicken.
feel like my deathmatch day, the food was awful. So I feel like that's why I lost my deathmatch, maybe.
That must be it. That must be it. We'll do a rerun.
Any more rituals? I reckon amount 3, dropping to the floor, doing some press ups.
Maybe in the morning.
Doing laps around the building.
Are we talking about before we start for the day, or are we saying like whenever we got back?
Any point, I was trying to get a feel for like what you do to get yourself pumped for a high pressure situation. That's not real.
Cup of tea.
Well, I was making henna designs in my room because I just could not focus on anything. I couldn't like stand the thought of actually working my brain when I wasn't needed to work my brain. So just something relaxing like that. So just drawing and doodling.
Okay. That's good.
Somebody or other was lying on the sofa because they told me about it and I did it because I did it with someone else. Someone else was doing it.
It was me.
Lying on the sofa.
I was always lying.
I was lying on my sofa. Yeah.
I was usually naked as well. Like I was so hot on the studio, like because I wasn't allowed to wear in day one. I wasn't allowed to wear my shirt unbuttoned because Amanthe had his unbuttoned. So they said one has to be buttoned, one can't be. So they forced me to button my shirt up. And
so they can tell you two apart, yeah? So they can tell you two apart.
Yeah, like I don't think the audience will be able to tell the difference here between you two. So we need to distinguish. But yeah, so when I go back to my dressing room, I was always so I was cooking like roasting hot. So I'd take my shirt off and things, and I was sweating. So like I'm just taking my top off. If audio or a sound or anyone wants to come in and check me on, then they can get a bit of a glance at my unflattering body. That was my ritual.
I wanted to tie my hair up one day. I was like, I'm sick of having it down. They were like, it's got to be the same every single day. And every single day I'd walk in and Charlotte would have 15 new hairstyles.
Yeah.
Wait,
what?
I can explain
decorations
that.
dropping off her nails. I'm like, you lot taking piss out of me. I just want to tie it up.
Yeah, and we weren't allowed to choose our outfits either. But Charlotte, she got special treatment.
No.
She got special treatment.
That was one time. The only time I changed the outfit was after Indy got knocked out because they wanted me in a green polka dot dress and I was like, I'm not going in there with Ken and Bex and Alison and Vitalia in my little green polka dot dress. And then I was like, I'd really like to change, but we had just done my hair and everything and they were like, if you're going to change, like we have to decide like right now. So Susie came in and we just fixed up an outfit for the next day that wasn't similar to, well, it looked pretty much the same in my opinion, but yeah.
Susie had to go to next and
to talk about the hair thing, she did say like everyone had to keep their hair the same, and on day 2 she tried to do my hair the same. But what we settled on was to have like the side bangs as like the token. Like Indy, yours was like the
every day they wouldn't let me do anything.
You had like different bunchies though, right? Yeah. So they were like, this can be the thing that stays the same. So I always had to have my hair hanging, like the 2 sides hanging.
No way.
I got told off for having too elaborate eye makeup, and then I had a meltdown and started getting all the producers and basically going through all my childhood trauma of being told what to wear. I don't know if any of you had a meltdown. Did any of you have a meltdown with any of the producers?
Definitely not. No.
Can imagine, Ben. Ben, was there any tears with any of the producers at any point for you in your waiting, not in your waiting room, in your dressing room?
No.
Did anybody else get tearful when they were in their dressing rooms with any of the makeup artists or anything like that?
I asked to go home. I started packing and said I was leaving.
When was that?
When Alison went.
Wow.
I only stayed because I can say it. It's going on YouTube. No, I better not say it. I'll tell you all after. But something got said that made me feel better. as well as I could be. But yeah, I was just like, no, I want to go home. Like, and I didn't cry or like that. I'm not a crier, but yeah, I did have, that was my only, I won't call it a meltdown. I was just very chill, but yeah, they wouldn't let me go.
Didn't know that.
I'm surprised that none of the other women cried. I'm
I
really
cried.
surprised.
I'm just not crying.
Yeah,
just
I'm pretty sure
really-
Charlotte and Indy both cried during the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Every
cried
single
in the
episode, right,
studio,
Charlotte?
not in the dressing room.
I cried a lot, like at the times of the death matches but not like in the morning the next day. In the morning the next day, they would come in and check on me after crying. Yeah, I think it was Anna who was
They were
coming
really
in
good
to
at
like
that.
check. Yeah, and just making sure
At
everything
crying?
was okay. No, checking up, checking up after like a breakdown. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have cried during my death match with Alison. Every time I looked up and just saw Alison's face, I was like, I'm gonna cry. What chance I got?
Oh my gosh. What made you cry, Alison?
It was it was particularly after the Amalfi and Bedalia death match, and I actually woke up in the middle of the night crying because it felt like sort of nasty sort of school ganging up on people thing, and I absolutely hated it. And I thought, I'm just gonna go home actually, and I stayed. And that's why I gave my Garnets away, because I'd made up my mind to go, and then I didn't go, but I still gave them away anyway.
Who did you give your Garnets to?
I think it was one to Ken.
I got one for sure.
Was the other to Bedalia? I can't remember.
One
Maybe
to Bex.
Bex. Bex got
Was it Bex?
one.
Bex and Ken.
Was it not shown? Was it not shown on the
No, they don't show any Garnet handings.
They don't show anything. Why would they show something like a Garnet that puts money in the pot?
I mean,
the Garnet count is completely up in the air in the show edit. It's like
just to
they never say
there.
Ben, going back to your question earlier,
big mistake.
You know the question where you said your favorite part outside of the show?
Yeah.
I think Alison made up for it in bundles, because on the last day, when everyone was leaving, Alison offered me a lift home, and we just spent the whole drive home just like making up, talking about our families, games we would love to play together, all that kind of stuff. And my sister actually saw you when you dropped me, and she was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh, someone from the agency." But when the show came out, I was like, "That was Alison."
That's it.
That's cute.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
I think they could have set up episode 1 a lot more as about individual people taking on each other, so that people got behind the characters kind of quicker.
Yeah.
And
episode 1,
because I've met quite a few people who were confused at episode 1 and then didn't try it, which was a shame.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of agrees it's a bit of a slow start. And watching episode 1, it was like, oh, the edit just feels like it's not really showing anything or anyone. It doesn't feel like what it was like to be in the show. That changed kind of around episode 3, I'd say, but then everyone didn't like episode 3 and 4. So it took a while for people to go, oh wait, this is a really good show with a good cast, and that's a shame.
It got good just after I left.
You're really stinking up the place with all your. No, I think
ruined episode 1.
No, it wasn't that. The edit definitely started changing as the show went on, and I think it only took a while for the editing to kind of settle. But yeah, I watched episode 1 and be like, oh, we just don't know anything. We don't know anything about the people. It's like, I don't feel like anyone here is a human yet. And that was the big shame of watching episode 1.
And they didn't do much really with those, those half-day filming we did with the intros.
No.
I suppose they
I'm
made lots
glad.
of
I'm glad
decisions.
I'm glad because I thought that was really cringe that half day. I was like, this is really cringe. So I can't remember when other people filmed theirs. Mine was filmed at the start of February. It was so long between when I filmed that and the show started that I basically my attitude towards the show hadn't really formed yet. I hadn't really processed being on the show yet, and I filmed that thing. I was like, I don't know what this is going to be like.
I filmed mine the day before episode 1,
Yeah.
and I'd only found out that was being on the show the Friday before. But they said somebody else had the shepherd's hut. Who else had the shepherd's hut?
Paul.
Maybe Paul, because his was also outdoors.
Yeah, was he the one playing chess?
Yeah, Paul had like this backdrop. Yeah, Paul was like.
It was so cold.
Yeah,
where did they film yours, Vidalia?
They hired at a nightclub, which is quite cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was the day before we filmed, and I remember they just put me in a random taxi, and then I had no service, obviously, because you have no phone, and the taxi driver didn't know where we were going.
Oh, it was near the hotel.
We ended up in the city centre, and he was like, "Is it here you're going?" I'm like, "I don't know where I'm going." He told me the taxi driver will know. I remember that.
You didn't end up in the wrong taxi. I ended up on the wrong taxi, guys, by the way. I got into the wrong taxi. Did anybody else do that?
No.
Clearly someone must have.
From the train station.
Pasha got kidnapped.
Yeah. She wasn't actually meant to be on the show at all. She just got the wrong taxi to the guys, what's going on? Just dragged her way into the filming.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, mine and Charlotte's filming day was on Valentine's Day.
I was so glad you were the second half. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it's like, let me out. I have Galentine's going on at 6 p.m. This needs to end pronto.
Yeah. Where were yours done? Same place then, or?
Kingston University.
Oh yeah.
Is that not your university, Charlotte? Because I just presumed that was your uni, and that's why they just used that lab. I thought they'd got permission from. So
I couldn't ask for permission. I was very confused because they were like, "Is there someone you can film?" And I was like, "But you told me not to tell anyone, so I don't really know if I can ask my uni to bring all of these things in and not say what we're doing it for." But no, very random place.
Where was yours, Amanfi?
It was at uni as well, but it was I don't know, it was somewhere. I actually don't know. It was just a athletics track. I don't know why they put me on an athletics track because I haven't sprinted since I was like 15. A little bit, but they just saw that I used to sprint nationally, and they're like, "Oh, let's jump on that." So,
how was it sprinting after 15 years?
I mean,
no, wait, it's not 15 years. How old are you again?
I'm 24. To be honest, they said I had to run slower because the cameras couldn't pick it up, and I was like,
"All right, let's just
basically running slow motion."
A lot of humble flex there,
Not even that. Like I wasn't running very fast, but the cameras couldn't pick up. Like it went to a blur kind of. So I had to like use my form while running at half the speed. And if you saw me, it was the most embarrassing thing.
A man figuring, I've not run in 10 years. Should we do a Genius Sports Day at some point, guys? And we'll.
Oh God!
Absolutely not.
Yes. I would be up for it. It'll be so fun.
Ben wins at golf. Ben wins at curling. Amanfi wins at ice skating and sprinting.
Amanfi wins at everything. Charlotte's really good at mini golf. Learned that in Scott's wedding.
I'd win at limbo.
Oh yeah.
You're good at limbo.
Yeah. Not bad. I mean, I haven't done any exercise for a while, so probably not as good.
You might not be. You never know.
People keep coming up to me and trying to guess because they can't remember my wedding. They remember my wedding, but they don't remember which Genius guests were there because obviously they didn't really know who you guys were.
Yeah.
I thought you said you told them all.
I told people that I was on the show. But I told people that some people were coming.
But no one really told to us.
No, yeah.
They only just saw us dancing.
Yeah, they're all racist.
No, I talked to your brother. I think. Is it your brother?
Yeah, I've got 3 brothers. So yeah, one of my brothers probably would have Yeah, I've spoken to.
talked to 3.
Everyone
people
remembers you, Ken. Everyone just goes, "Oh, was that Ken from the dancing Ken from the dance floor?" I have so many good videos and pictures of you, Ken, from that night.
Put them up.
I'm planning to sell them to the newspapers once you're famous.
You can put them on the bottle of my farts and then.
Okay, guys, I'm actually going to go now. So bye, and enjoy the rest of the chat. See you later.
Thanks for joining.
Bye, Pasha. Nice to see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
But does she need to upload hers?
I think she might need to, and now I'm nervous about that.
What?
You have 30 days. So if she leaves and doesn't upload at all, it says complete. We're good.
Okay.
Hey, Basha said complete.
Complete.
Of course. Why were we ever in doubt?
Wait, what was that? Do you have to do something before you leave?
You have to upload.
Just do nothing. So when you click leave studio, just sit and wait.
Okay.
It should just say upload complete or something.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I think hopefully it'll be quick for all of you guys, and then maybe longer for me. I don't know.
It should be fun. What was the last question that somebody asked?
I think we're still on medallions.
Ben, do we need to do if you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe to Ben's channel.
No, because
I leave a comment with you.
Yeah.
Here's the ironic thing. I was really hoping to get like some Instagram followers from this whole thing. I've had more Instagram followers from when Bex pranked me than I have from people genuinely finding me from the show.
I don't get loads of Insta followers for this show. So.
Well, go follow Ben.
Go follow Ben.
At Benjamin.Everly.
Yeah. But Alia, you're very thoughtful. Let's plug all of our stuff now.
Yeah. Alison's book. Which way are we going that way? Alison, what's your latest?
I've got the latest book somewhere, but that's not. I'm not very well prepared, am I?
I've got it for you if you want. But I'm in my PJ trousers. Wait, let me just duck down.
Oh yes.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. Thanks, Charlotte. Thanks, Benjamin. Yeah, Because She Looked Away is the first one in a new series featuring DS Ronnie Blake, who moves to Cambridge to help bring up her nephew after her sister's death. And on her first day, she discovers that this team, known as the Dead Team, wants to speak to her about an ongoing investigation and about what happened to her sister. And it all goes from there. So in comic book terms, it's Ronnie's origin story, if you like.
Nice. Very nice.
Bex, do you want to tell us about your monkey?
Huh?
Do you want to tell us about your little monkey you've got there?
Didn't even know I was unconsciously playing with Pippa's monkey.
They can say hi.
It was just on the table.
Yeah.
Where's your lamb?
Ken, go.
Grab him.
My son.
Lenny.
Oh, fine.
Oh.
That dog is so cute.
Hey, I'm in my new nursery, so I've got like a cushion for the.
Oh.
It's a jelly cat.
Banana. Banana's got banana.
Wait, Bedalia, I have the mum of your jelly cat.
No way.
Whoa. That's freaky.
Reunited.
Is that a jelly cat, really?
Yeah. It's a bag. It's a bag.
Yeah. I've got Lenny's sister.
Oh my god. It's so crazy that we both
family reunion.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
That's funny.
Bex, do you wanna plug Poke Penguin?
Not at the moment, it's too busy. I'm only joking. Porky Penguin. If you've got children, follow Porky Penguin. We're magical. We're on Christmas at the moment, actually. So we're knee deep in Christmas. We need to get it all signed off so that we can get printing and stuff. So, but yeah, I am going somewhere exciting in 2 weeks.
Where?
I'm going to Georgia.
No way. With what?
I would not have guessed.
Which one?
No, traveling. Air?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I
The
said.
US Georgia or the Asian Georgia?
The country Georgia, Asian Georgia. Yeah.
It's not Asian.
It is in
Yeah.
Asia, the continent.
Oh, I thought it was in Europe. Damn, it's
Eurasian.
Asian.
No,
Yeah.
it's in. Yeah,
It's,
it's on the.
it's technically it's on the cusp. Eh?
It's in the Eurasian, yeah.
Yeah, it's officially classed as Asia,
Damn.
Western Asia. Yeah. So I'm going there. That'll be exciting. I'm excited for that. I only booked it.
How many
yesterday.
countries have you done?
This will be my 56th.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's
Quarter of the
loads
way.
of countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If,
just-
we, and if we dip into Armenia, it'll be my 57th.
Do you have any one of those like scratch off maps that you can?
Yeah, I have about 14 because everyone just thinks it's a really good Christmas birthday present.
I had some questions that people from my group wanted to ask.
Cool.
But I think one of them actually got asked, which was which deathmatch would you want to compete in that you didn't compete in? But I don't know if everyone answered that, to be honest.
No, I think it was just a
Just-
couple of ones for that.
Yeah. Anyone else got any others?
Mine
I
was
don't
same
know.
but different.
Different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same
Yeah,
but
they're more
different.
different for me, or Indian poker, but probably not against Ken.
I'd love to play poker
Against
against.
someone else.
I don't think I'd do that well against a person who actually played poker, because it is quite. There's a lot of just like pure psychology in it.
Yeah, I would
Hey,
like
you-
to think I wouldn't have the same.
Huh?
So I just said I'd like to think I wouldn't have the same sizing tiles, but you can. I don't know. In the moment, we'll have to play a game of Indian poker next time.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, we should do a setup of us all just playing different death matches against each other.
I want to do that as content. I want to do that.
Mm.
I want to get some big death match, grudge matches.
I want a death match,
Bedalia
'cause
and
I didn't
Manfi
get
deserve. Yeah, Bedalia and Manfi deserve to actually have a death match against each other.
Yeah.
As does Bex.
Yeah, I need
I
a
have
death
a
match.
question.
Bex. Well,
We need
Bex
to get a
chose not
di-
to go to a death match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You should have taken so many tokens of life.
We should arrange that night, even if it's just a night or whatever, just to go and have like a proper game sesh, get some food, a few drinks.
I'm so down.
Oh yeah, I've got so many games.
Yes.
Got so many games for you all to play.
Yes.
Hundreds.
Are the community watching invited?
No.
The watch. We could sell tickets, to be honest.
Yeah,
We could do a meet and greet. It'd be so sad if we sell tickets to a meet and greet and no one shows up, though.
no one shows up.
But I do think
No
if we
one
did
buys the ticket.
if we did a meet and greet in a park and was like pay £5 to come and meet and greet Genius and play games with them, people would.
£5 to a public park.
Yeah, yeah,
People
people do that.
Public park.
People do that.
Yeah, they get their money. They get their money back if they can beat us in a death match.
Oh no, that some of the fans are quite good at these games.
Yeah, they will be.
Don't be scared.
I'm
Yeah.
forgetting these are all just like amped up Bens, aren't they? Just watching.
Yeah,
the
they're all super fans. They're ready to take us on.
They'll be better than me though. I only got on because I'm crazy and dramatic and like wild. But these people are probably boring in real life, but smarter than I am.
That is
No, it's
possibly the main kind of
Charlotte, can I ask you a question, Charlotte? If of the final, what 2 death matches would you have rather played, or well, which other one death match you'd rather have played other than same or different
That's a good
than the
question.
one you got?
Ooh. I actually think same or different is one of my stronger ones. I think Ken is just it was
Yeah.
just unlucky we'd both seen the game before. Like,
But instead of
think I-
Golden Triangle.
okay, yeah, instead of Golden I want that. That is a good question. And against Ken as well, right?
Yeah.
I'd need a luck-based one, I think.
No, that's not true.
So
I think you
black
do
and white.
well. I think you do well against me in black and white. Black or
Black
white.
and white.
I think it will be pretty much a toss up. I don't know if I could
Black
beat you.
and white. Actually, you know, what? I think black and white is a good one because they didn't
Yeah.
show it in the film, like in the edit. But Indy, when you had your last 2, I said something like, "Oh, I would play the other way,"
Yeah.
and you said no, you would play Indy's way, and then it ended
Yeah.
up not being a rematch. So maybe, yeah.
Yeah, your psychology was probably better than mine.
Well, yeah. Also in the 9909 thing.
Yeah. Oh
I don't
yeah.
know why
no,
they didn't show that.
I know why they didn't show it.
They should have. Yeah.
They should have. They should have.
Yeah.
But then it would break people's hearts when they see the result on Wednesday.
Yeah. It might break people's hearts anyway. A lot of people are like, Charlotte's my fave.
That's what my son said.
Aww. Yeah. I'm just reading comments about how I'm mean and manipulative. And nasty. She nasty.
They're the minority. She nasty was a really ridiculous comment.
Was so funny. And then did you see the comment below? It was like, would you call her mean and nasty if she was male? And I was like, yes. You go.
Yeah.
My friends and family have all been Team Ken since the start. I don't know if it's because they're biased because they saw you at my wedding and they're just thinking, crazy Ken from the dance floor. We want him to win.
The guy.
No, yeah. my brother is still saying, I think Charlotte will win. I'm looking for what my son said. He said something like that a 19-year-old would say.
Oh, do we want to know?
Yeah, that seems. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Charlotte's had enough of those DMs.
Do you guys try to respond to people? I try to respond to every respectable DM.
Yeah, I respond to everyone.
Just react. I react to a lot of.
I sometimes tease them a bit.
Yeah. Oh.
I just play along.
Is that your only time, Dalia?
It works.
My stepdaughter said, Charlotte seems ridiculously quick stroke smart. And my son replied, he's watching it with his mate Ez. He said, Charlotte is the goat. That's what Ez and I say. So you're the greatest of all time.
Yeah, Charlotte is the goat.
She's a goat.
Unfortunately, short-lived because Ken becomes the goat.
Back for Series 2. Back for Series 2, Charlotte. Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah, rematch.
So, Ben, I was going to ask, if Vidalia places that Garnet, Charlotte obviously responds and places her Garnet. Both of them are out. Ben makes it to the final. How do you think you would have fared, Ben, against Ken in Same or Different and Golden Triangle?
I mean, I think that I get my ass kicked in Same or Different, despite studying it for a whole day before the finale. And then I have to get lucky in Golden Triangle to even have a chance with the last game. Like, that's why I was so preoccupied with getting Ken out, because I knew that he would absolutely destroy me in death matches.
I think if it had been any other two I think Same or Different is probably my most preferred death match, because I think it is just speed, and I think it's just speed and seeing the completes, which I had a edge in. I think Golden Triangle, I think anyone could win if they just because our play in Golden Triangle for the first two rounds isn't good. Neither of our play is good. We're just kind of placing randomly, and I get quite lucky. Especially round 2 because we tie. We tie because neither of us know what we're doing. It's only round 3 where I kind of started to understand the game. But if someone had understood it round 1, I think they could just beat me. I think, and if anyone just figured out what that game actually needed, they would just win that game. But luckily,
the thing is,
we're slow on that.
I don't think none of us watching it in the room, because we're all given the same amount of time to learn the game. So it's not like you're given half hour, 40 minutes, an hour to study it. So I think everyone in that environment plays probably close to similar, if not worse than what you guys did in your, because you immediately strategized and found that if you take the 5 pieces that are sort of central in the board and you can dominate those areas, which seemed like a good strategy to start with. But the time you guys had to try and plan that. Obviously, Charlotte tried to give herself as much time as possible by taking an hour.
The reason why I did that was because they showed the rules twice, right? But I thought we would get given the board, you know. Yeah. And I didn't memorize what the board was, and I had asked them for it. I was like, "Can I see it now?" Like, it was like, I don't know what it looks like. Can I see it now? And then we can go prep in our dressing room. And then they were like, "No, I think you've seen enough from the rules." And I was like, "Ken, do you remember the board?" And Ken was like, "Kinda." And I was like, "Fuck, well, this guy's not gonna back me up to give me the board, right?" And then at that point, I was like, I wish I was more like Ben, because Ben would have stood his ground and been like, this makes absolutely no sense. Like, even now I'm thinking back and I'm just like, it makes absolutely no sense that they don't give us the boards, because you're sending me to a dressing room for God knows how long. I'm just going to be staring at the wall doing absolutely nothing, because I don't know. If you don't know the boards, you have nothing to strategize, right? I just couldn't draw it. I thought the G was like this, like a triangle at the top, but no, the G was flat, so it was over.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I spent so long during the match, because I was seeing the board for the first time.
True. You should have taken longer. Should have taken the whole evening. We had the whole evening.
Got told
We had the
off.
whole evening.
Well, I was really glad that you took so long, Charlotte, because they told us that we might have a photo shoot. I can't remember if it was a Monfi or Indy, but I turned to somebody and I was like, we cannot have a photo shoot right now because I look like a fucking drag queen, and this cannot be the photo that like they use for everything.
That was so funny. I remember you stressing that was going to be like the photo, your photo of the whole thing.
Yeah, we got a cast photo, right? Where do we get in the bit? Where do we get that? Can we get that?
We've never seen it.
Yeah, we need to get that. The took
Yeah,
one,
it was on the first day.
Yeah, around the atrium thing. Yeah.
No, I mean at the end we got a big cast photo as well, didn't we?
We did.
Like in the hotel?
I don't.
No,
I don't remember.
in
the rap party.
No, just before the rap party when we left the studio, and it was the bit where we get our garnets. I think there was a photo taken there.
I don't remember that.
No, I think
thought
it
we
was
got
just...
does not mean it didn't happen.
Maybe not. I thought it was just after the filming finished. I thought that was a photo. Just like maybe it had the crew in as well, but I remember there being a photo of some because everyone was kind of like angling around. I don't know.
I have a question which kind of anyone can answer, but for code breakers, does anyone have a strategy on what they would have done if they had been the undercover agent? Like, obviously watching what Ben did, like, does anyone have their own strategy?
Yeah, I would have shared that word with Ken, and then Ken would have told me what to do.
Oh, interesting. I don't know what I would do there.
No,
That'd be
I
interesting.
genuinely don't know.
Were you guys thinking about it when you were on ice?
I was just praying I did not get the undercover agent. I didn't have my own strategy.
Yeah, I guess it's only one in 9 chance. So
if I was there and I was undercover agent, I think I would probably just play the way the game is meant to be played. I wouldn't think otherwise. I would never have thought of what Ben did, so I would have just gone, oh yeah, I'm totally not the undercover agent. Let's try and sneak some false clues in, and like one false clue in, you cannot solve the word. And if people are on that thinking that that's gospel, then you're kind of struggling to solve the words at the best of times. So
yeah,
I think
sorry, go on.
No, that's right. Yeah,
I keep thinking there's a gap, and then it sounds like I'm talking over people. Sorry.
Hard with 9 people in a room.
Yeah.
I think you'd need to grab at least 1 or 2 other people to be with you. And the way you would do that is be like, if you don't help me, I'm taking you to the death match. Like.
Do you think threats like that would have ever worked though?
No, I think I would just.
Because if the thing was guessed, you would be the deathmatch candidate, right? And I think that fear is already, like maybe you don't have to explicitly say it, but like you just need to find, I think really a small group would have been enough. Yeah.
And it would be interesting. It never really occurred to me to threaten people with a death match. I think it was Badala who really only did it. But like, because I never really thought about going, when I was in the losing end of Codebreakers, I never really thought this would be a good idea to start threatening people with a death match, because I thought it would just really piss people off and it would ultimately hurt you long term. But I never really considered it that much. But I don't know how it would have gone down if people started doing that like that early.
I don't know. I feel like if Ben was like, I'm taking you to the death match if you don't help me, I'd just be like, here is my clue. You can take it.
You could word it like, I'll protect you from the death match.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you could word it like, I will protect you from the death match.
That's nice. That's diplomatic.
So it's less threatening,
And there's the garnets as well for the 3 people. So you could also grab 3 people and say, okay, you get garnets, I get the win. But
yeah. Interesting game. Interesting situation.
Not much happened with the garnets, really. I was expecting there to be more shenanigans that you could do with garnets.
Yeah.
Season two, they'll be able to figure out what to do with the Garnets.
Yeah, season two will be a massive success. All the people on it will be dead famous. It'll go amazingly, and we'll all be like bastards, like Traitors season 1.
Yeah.
Love Island season 1.
Yeah.
First season 2. All the best shows kick off after season 2.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a question for Bedalia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I was messaging with Charlotte earlier, and she said something that I thought was really true, and I'm curious to like.
Did she
ask
call you
about
naive
it.
again?
Only good things. No.
No,
Lagging everyone off again.
it was good things. So Charlotte observed that basically, like, since the show has started coming out, that I think it's probably fair to say that you've had the most like critical and negative comments from viewers, and even
No, I
from some of
disagree
us
with
as
that.
well, like myself included, like being critical of how you played. But like in the game, you sort of you got upset when Amanfi lied to you, and it felt like, I know you felt like that wasn't an emotional reaction, but I think to some of us it did feel a bit like an emotional reaction. But weirdly, despite getting a lot of this like negative critique like from people in real life, actually it feels like the way you've handled it has been like the most mature, and like you have nothing but nice things to say about all of us. And I'm just wondering, like, what is it about your personality or your experience that allows you to so graciously deal with a lot of those negative comments?
Man, Dad, you're gonna make me actually get emotional. I don't know. To be honest, if I'm being honest, I didn't actually ever intend to go on a program like this because I felt way out of my depth. And when I did see the comments a couple of weeks ago, I was on holiday, and I thought this is the very reason why I was not sure about going on. But also, I didn't regret how I played or even going on the show or any of that. To be honest, I was there for a good time. I wanted to meet some great people, have a new experience, and I knew that how we perceived it there was never going to be how it was portrayed. And I suppose I've had experiences in the past where people have come at me for things that are just not things to come at me for, because things have been taken out of context with other things I've done, like in the media, especially like political health stuff. And like it got some of those things have got really bad, where I've had like serious abuse, and this was kind of more fun. And when those things happened, I just muted all the groups, and not our group. I muted the Discord group. And I decided to kind of like play up to the people who are being mean to me. So someone said Bex and Bedalia are brain dead. So when I was just like responding to a few of the Reddit messages, I put that as the first one. I found it funny, to be honest. I think I probably sent it to Bex as well.
Yeah.
End of the day, you came third, so sorry, Ben.
Exactly.
Fourth place for Ben.
Third in all of our books, Bedalia.
Third place for Bedalia. No, what?
Bronze Prince.
It's so close, though, Bedalia. In that death match, you were one move away from winning. Like in that final round where Charlotte's bluffed, Ben sat out of it. If you also sat out of it, you win. Because if you abstain, you block Charlotte, then Ben has to go next because he's next up, and he would have to bluff.
Yeah, it's all about timing. That last move.
Yeah, you just copy. Yeah,
he might not bluff.
So
Ben might not bluff. Yeah.
So then everyone just keeps abstaining until Charlotte uses a bluff token.
No, I would just go next. I would win if Ben doesn't bluff.
Okay, they keep doing
So I think Ben knows he picks at that point as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it would have been fun to see. But yeah, to get that far and get to within basically a point, and even in the main match, you nearly had it in the main match as well. You were very close to that final. So I think anyone saying brain dead is just absolutely ridiculous.
Also, none of the commenters know what it's like to actually be in that room. None of the commenters will ever be in an experience like that. They obviously sat at home. They have no idea what it's like to film 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day for 4 days in a row, and then have a break and then whatever, and actually be in the pressure of that and think about the camera, think about new people, and do all the things that all of us have done. And I think all of them will get wiped in a show like this. A lot of them.
The thing is you're like, it's so easy to take it personally at where we are now because it was us in that environment. It's really easy for us to do that. But actually, it was a different version of ourselves playing that game.
Yeah.
And it's almost a character, like maybe an avatar or like some version of ourselves. And it's important to have that separation. But obviously, when they say mean things, it hurts because it was you in that game. But also, if they were in that reality, they would get it. So there's a massive disconnect, and that's why it.
Do you not think that people's genuine personalities were coming through then?
When we played it all on TV?
Yeah. Because I think the people would probably, not everything, but read quite a lot accurately into the way they interact with people and the way they negotiate things and the way they behave under pressure was probably, I think, a fairly fair reflection.
I don't think mine was, if I'm honest.
Maybe some traits are forced to come out.
Yeah.
But also, some traits don't come out. I don't know.
Games make.
I just felt versus reality.
I think I was myself, but there were certain situations that happened where my friends have texted me and said, I cannot believe that you reacted that way to Ben in that situation, because most of my friends would know that I would be literally like hand behind his back, matching him out there, taking him into the car park, like, do you know what I mean? Like I have got a big,
wish we saw that.
I have got a big mouth, and I can't usually keep it quiet, and I feel like because I was so super aware of the cameras, I was quite restrained, I would say.
That was you restrained?
For me personally. Yeah.
It's a game, Benjamin.
I think it's slightly different. Like, I don't think slightly different to Bex. I don't think I portrayed anything differently because there was a camera. Like, I was just playing to win because I completely separate game life to real life. And that was how I thought everyone going into it would be as well.
Yeah, Ben, you said the same, didn't you?
Yeah, and Bedalia, when I was messaging Ben, I don't know, I feel like he didn't say it to like the way that like I was saying, like, I think it's very ironic how right now, like, personally, I view you as the person who has taken everything the least personally after the game has come out. Like, when I message you, you're so, like, gracious, and when I message you saying, like, I'm really sorry, like, this is how it came out, like, I did say those things, and at the time I meant those things, right? And you had nothing but, like, you were just like, no, like, I'm chill, like, it was great. And then at the end, when you were like, I'm proud to be knocked out by Charlotte or whatever, and that was, like, the day after, and I was like, this guy is so nice, and it's so weird that they've portrayed you as this emotional character, but really in real life you just you took all of this, you saw all of these episodes, and you took nothing personally. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I felt really comfortable talking to you in, like, a message after. Yeah.
Well, it's because you guys are so great. That's what it is. Like, I'm genuinely playing on, like, being able to play a game like that with people who are, like, so good at playing is just an experience for me. And yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I think that was the greatest thing about this cast, is there were no bad losers or sore losers within the game. I think everyone understood the context of why we were there, what the purpose of the game. Even a man getting knocked out in rock, paper, scissors, which is probably the most brutal death match, to go out on knowing everyone's turned against you. He took it like a champ. He didn't. There was no animosity. It's just like, well, that's the game. The game goes how it goes. Same with Paul in the heist game, with him being the target, me being picked in zombie. I think everyone at some point was the target at some point. Bex in the semi-final episodes, sort of everyone grouping against Bex, everyone going against Bedalia. Like, we all accepted, and I think everyone to T in the cast was just great to be around. I don't think there's anyone that was took anything too personal. So
I've said it before, but we were lucky to have such a good group.
Yeah, I agree.
You could have had a couple of nightmare people in there, and the whole experience would be totally different.
Yeah, by this point, the Traitors cast are at each other's throats. Like, a year on, they're in the news. They're squabbling. There's scandals. We haven't had any scandals yet.
We should invent a scandal.
Yeah, we should release it, leak it.
Who's got pregnant? Who's got pregnant with Joe Street's
Joe
baby?
Street. I knew that was coming.
I knew it was going to be Joe. I knew it was going to be Joe.
Shout out to Joe Street. Great dealer. Great dealer. Great guy.
Yeah.
I actually find most of the comments laughable. Like I find them really funny. Like I've obviously had some like not nice comments on Twitter and especially Reddit and stuff like that. And I just find them amusing because those people don't know us. They just, I think about when I watch a reality show like Love Island or Big Brother, and my opinions formed on those people. And I think horrible things about those people when I see them on telly. I think, oh, what a dickhead, or what this or what that. The difference is I don't put it online, but the same token, like I think those things, and I just think it's natural to be able to watch something for so long and make a snap decision on that one. But that's exactly what it is. It's just a snap decision, and it just doesn't affect my life at all because I'm like, why? The only opinions I'm bothered about are my friends and family. Anyone else can get and see. Like that's don't matter, does it? So.
And you probably wouldn't feel that way about them if you met them in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with everyone who. It's interesting. Like everyone who's met, like out of my friends who've met people in the cast, have very different views of them compared to like watching it on screen. And it's so interesting how even a one-off meeting can change how someone perceives someone. When watching on screen, which is so fascinating.
Yeah.
I think it also gets back to Allison's point where like I think some of us went into the experience being fully ourselves when we were there. And I think maybe like I relate to more what Charlotte is saying. I don't think I was myself a single bit of that experience until episode 6, when I told Ken and Charlotte about my background and actually told the truth about some of the things in my life, because I felt like it was a game and I was like prepared to do stuff and act in ways that I would not act in real life.
You see, do you feel regret
for the electric bill on the new flat? The lights have gone out. Oh, she's back again.
Sorry, Ben, do you regret that? Do you wish you'd brought a bit of humility, like a bit of like your own vulnerability into it, rather than being this like, I am here just to play a game, I am on ice, do not talk to me, I play by the rules kind of thing? Like I feel like I built relationships up with a lot of people just through eyes walking back in, just by looking at people and having that thing, you know what I mean? Whereas with you, I never got that with you, Ben. And I now and again, I'd be like trying to catch your eye to try and give you a little smile and stuff, and you were very much like, I need to play a game.
I was just trying to respect the rules that we weren't meant to communicate when we weren't on film.
Like Charlotte and Indy?
No, I mean, I don't know. For me, like I think what I would have regretted most is if I didn't go in and play my absolute hardest. Whereas I think for other people, what they would have regretted most is if they went in and they weren't fully themselves. So I think it just has to do with like what you were there to do, you know, like.
Yeah, and I think that's what made, again, what the casting was so good, because we can't all go on there and be the same. You have to have your social players, the ones that, you know, share a little wink between moments on ice, and then you've got the players who are just there to play the game and completely focus on the strategy side and dominate that side. I think they picked the cast well for that. They were all a very good mix of people, but again, nothing too different that we all clash and fight each other.
It's there were some really interesting philosophies at like going head to head, like all the stuff about like what is a betrayal, what is dishonest play, what is manipulative play. Like there was a lot of different philosophies about what is fair play, or what even is like, you know, kind of moral sometimes, that were constantly at play. They don't really show all of that. They just show people kind of reacting to that, but people don't actually know the context of like, because like actually it is okay to be upset if someone like hurts you in the game. It is okay. Like it's okay to actually get completely emotional and go like, I'm actually upset that you've attacked me in this game. That is actually a fine way to approach a game, because that actually feeds into the experience. And even though like it is just a game, but ultimately we're all humans and humans react differently to certain things. And like people are sitting there at home being like, oh, why are they getting emotional? It's just a game. But it's like this is actually a really interesting experience because it is just a game, but it is also games are also something really big and important because they also do reflect who you are to some extent. So like if you can betray with ease because it's a game, that's fine. But it does also like we are being watched doing that, and people will have like it's so interesting how it all plays in.
Yeah, I think that's what made Vidalia and Amanfi's feud make great television because the audience will have that emotional side that with Vidalia, and they'll see they've shown obviously in the edit Amanfi doing his game in games 1, 2, and 3, and Vidalia just going, nope, had enough of it. Like memory lasts a long time in these games, and obviously some players wouldn't be as annoyed about that Amanfi's game style, whereas the other players would be. And I think that's what made the game so good again, is that it's just you need to know which players you'll get away with certain things for. And that was one of the best episodes of TV, I think, of the series. I think it was just the Vidalia Amanfi, just the absolute audacity of Vidalia to go, nope, deathmatch it is. Like I don't care.
I think I said this in an interview somewhere. I don't know if I've explained it to everyone else in the cast. I think Ben knows this. Amanfi, I don't know if you know this, but
I don't believe this. I'm just putting it out there.
You don't believe this? No, it's true. It's true. So when I had that black box, I knew that I was going to go in the deathmatch. I just knew there was no way I wasn't. And there's like 3 or 4 hours left of filming to go until you're actually going to have the deathmatch. So you could tell me this is the wrong move to have made, but I knew that by any advantage you can get in a deathmatch is an advantage you need to take. Like obviously you don't know what the game is you're going to get. So I figured that part A, if I tell everyone that I'm not going to pick them, they're safe. If I make it through the next day, it might buy me some brownie points because like I've given that sense of security. That was part of my thinking. Part 2 was like a Vidalia and Amanfi deathmatch was like the ultimate one that like we'd already had those conflicts earlier on, and we'd like made up and stuff, and it just felt like the perfect person to have in the deathmatch. Like whatever this, like, it just felt like I wish it was a different game. That's the thing. It was so frustrating.
So interesting if it was any other game. It would be so like, oh shit, the stakes cannot be higher. The stakes can't be higher.
I also wonder how they would have tweaked the editing if it was like a proper game. I don't know.
I think they would have edited differently. I think a lot of the edit is built around what happens in deathmatch.
Crazy, yeah.
I've got a good question that someone asked. This comes from Alex McMillan, the person who hosts the Dealers Room podcast, and it says, they say, if you were all to play again, knowing everything you know now, who do you think you would have worked with?
Oh my god, I was literally just thinking that.
Are you breaking up with us? It's a bit upsetting at this point. We love you.
Amanfi goes, nobody, I'm leaving you all. I never betrayed you, Amanfi. I just extorted a Garnet out of you, so I wouldn't take you to the deathmatch. But
how many are allowed in your team?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Did you hear the question? Yeah.
I got the question.
Oh, was there a question?
I mean, for me, I was working probably closest with Ben and Charlotte throughout, and I feel like that was probably the right choice. However, maybe I could have been more. Maybe I almost think in Code Breakers, I should have just sucked up to Ben in that just to tighten it. But I don't know if it made too much.
No, it didn't, Indy. Like I never held anything against you, and I helped you win the next episode. Like actually, it made me want to work with you more. The fact that you weren't just immediately trying to help me win in a weird way.
Okay, that makes sense. And also Amanfi. I think me and Amanfi, I wanted to work with you from the first moment. We were all in the atrium meeting each other. And I think we kind of agreed to work together, but it just didn't really turn out that way because of Zombie Game.
Yeah, that was really annoying. Like in my first Fox, they asked me who I wanted to work with, and I said India or Charlotte. And then before every game, Indy would like give me a little debrief of what she thought the game was because we were always next to each other. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. But then when the game started, it was either on different teams or things just didn't work out. It was so annoying.
It never made sense really to work together, given the games, but it would have been good fun.
I was really hopeful that after Heist games, like when I formed the group of 6, or when we formed that group, I was really hopeful that once we get that group formed, that the 6 of us, and I know Indy and Amantra, you were probably the 2 most keen not to keep, and Ken I think as well, not to keep one alliance and keep it going throughout the show. But I was like, we've got a group of 6 here. If we get rid of one of them, and Paul, then it's just we pick them off one by one.